Hi guys, it's Adam here from Niche Website Builder. So the video that I'm recording for you today is just going to be a quick run through in terms of how I set up my money pages, what they look like, and things like that. Now, I just want to start off by saying that I'm certainly no designer. Designing websites is definitely not my forte. However, there are certain elements and aspects that should be included within your money posts, which hopefully you'll get a better understanding of today by the end of this video. There's, as I mentioned before, I use Thrine primarily for all of my content design, etc. Just because I've used it for a while, I know exactly how it works. And I don't have to spend time messing around learning something new. But there are other alternatives. So you can use just the WordPress, the standard WordPress editor. You could use something like Divi, or you could use something like Elementor. I think they all have their pros and cons. And Thrive is just my personal favorite. So what I'm going to do today is, as I said, just run through how it looks. I've kind of gone in already and I've pre-created certain aspects just because it takes a little while to mess around with the padding, etc., to get it to look exactly how I like it. But when I start adding them in, you'll see that it's nothing complex, it's nothing complicated, and you should be able to set something up pretty similar and looks just as good, if probably not even better, in a very short space of time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new post, and I've had some articles created for this website. So this first piece is all about best pomade for waves. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add this piece of content to the website. So my post title is that. It's a guide, and I'm going to save it as a draft. And next, I'm going to launch Thrive. So, first thing that I want is my piece of introductory text. And I'm just going to split it up a little bit just so it doesn't look like a wall of text or anything. Now, the next thing that I want is another piece of text. Oops. So, I'm going to pop that in there as a H1 because I want to make sure that my keyword is in at least one H1 tag. Now, I know this is a H1 tag, but it's also a title tag. So I just like to have it in there just as a standard H1 tag as well. Now, what I like to include in here is, so I've got my introductory text, but there are people who will come to the site and are kind of not really interested in reading any of your recommendations or whatever. They just want that TLDR. They want to know what your top recommended product is, and they just want to click through to Amazon. So you've got to give them that option. So after my short introduction, what I like to have in here is what I call my hurry up box, or my are you ready to buy box. And it basically is just our winner after X amount of hours of research is, and it just gives them what our top pick for this article is. So if they come on here, they just want to know what the top pick is and they want to click through, you've given them that option. This is just made up of a simple content box with another content box inside with two columns, an image. You can see here that I've got the star rating, but I purposely don't have them the same style stars as Amazon, just because I want to make it clear to the reader that this is our rating and not Amazon's rating, and that's why I put that in there. Unless you're pulling the rating through from Amazon API, then you could get into a little bit of trouble by doing that. So just keep that in mind. I've got a nice little button. You can either use Thrive to create your own buttons, or this is actually an image. And then I like to put the Amazon logo on there as well, just to give it a little bit of trust, really, for the user to know that they're going to be clicking through to Amazon. The next thing that I have is my comparison table, which which looks a little like this. So it's very simple. It's just image, product, our rating, and again, I make sure that I include the word our there so people know that it's actually the site's rating and not an Amazon rating, and then a button with the Amazon logo. And then after that, then I add a little text called what our reviews say. And then I have our single product reviews. So this is pretty much the same kind of layout and format. So it's a content box with some columns in there, and just lays out that this is our overall top pick. There's a nice image. Again, our rating is displayed quite clearly and neatly there. We've got a little bit of text, and we've got the pros and cons for this product. Now, as you can see, that's definitely not complicated or not complex at all. But when you compare it to the existing articles on here, that is literally it versus that. Then there's a clear difference in terms of, one, how many call to actions there are, two, what do they actually look like? Are they more appealing and inviting for users to click on? Are things laid out a little bit better? I personally think so. And I've tested a couple of different layouts and a couple of different styles and formats of this approach. And I find that this one works the best. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go in and I'm going to update these to match the article. So we've got our introductory text. The winner is this, so I don't need to change that. We then got this product. This product. This product. Now, one thing which I didn't realize when I designed this is you can see that here the text is very, very close to the inner border. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to add a little bit of padding on both sides just to take that away. And I'm going to update the images. And this one is... That's the SQL. Again, same with the last video. Every image that I upload, I always try and scale it down to 300 by 300, just because I typically don't tend to use images that are bigger than that. And then that helps with your site speed and site optimization. Coming in 150. This is Uppercut Monster, which we already have. This is Playwright. And then Roller Coaster. Okay, so in terms of what is actually clickable through to Amazon on here, I always make sure that my images are clickable. So add link to image, paste my URL in. I always want to make sure that it opens in a new tab just in case somebody wants to continue viewing the site. And I always make sure that my links through to Amazon no follow. Same for my button there. In the table, then again, it's my image, my text, and this image also. So that's great. And on here, then it's my image, my button, and the button at the bottom. And that's it really. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to go through and I'm just going to carry on and carry on with this post here. Basically, it's going to be a bit boring if I just leave the video record because I'm just going to be repeating this for the other 4 products. But I'll restart the video once I've finished and then we'll take it from there. So I've just finished creating 2 of the articles. So I was doing best pomade for waves, and I've also done best pomades for fine hair. So I'm just going to quickly show you what these 2 look like. So this is best pomades for waves, and this is now fully finished. The table is finished, and we now have 5 boxes, complete with our small buyer's guide at the bottom, and the exact same for fine hair. As you can see, the layout is pretty much exactly the same across all the money pages, or it certainly will be once I start updating the old posts. But any new pieces of content that are added to the site now will follow this general template and this general outlook. Now, one thing, what I want to show you how to do is once you've created your page and you're happy with it, rather than having to recreate it every time, it's very easy in Thrive to make a quick template. So all you have to do is click the little settings box, save as template, and save this as money page or whatever you want to save that as. And then next time you want to make a new money page or a new post, just click add new, save it as a draft, launch Thrive, and we should now be able to just select that as a template basically. So this is a massive time saver, and it means that once you're happy with the layout, you can just come in and then there we go, that's perfect. So all it's a case then is just updating the details, the text, the images, etc. And you're ready to go. Now, one thing that I like to do with my site is basically have keep a spreadsheet which just has an overview of all the articles that are on there and how they're laid out. So we've got titles, category, URL, and keywords. Now I've just added these 2 to the bottom because obviously I've just added them to the site, and this really helps with my internal linking. So what I like to do is here you can see that these already have 1s in them. That basically means all these articles at the moment have just 1 internal link pointing back to them. Now, there's a nice, quick, easy way to do your internal linking. And I've saved these couple of few sentences down here. I just use those almost as like a cheat sheet. So what I like to do is once I've finished an article, I'll go back into it. And at the end of every single product review, so this part, I'll just add in one of these sentences, and then I'll just go through the list from top to bottom. So be sure to check out the list of the best pomade for thick hair for more great items like this. Now we don't want these to open in a new tab, and we don't want them to be no follow because they're internal links. We want them to pass through the juicer on the site. And then what I like to do is just update the sheet so that now has 2 internal links. I'll just grab the next sentence down. So make sure you also check out a guide to the best pomade for curly hair. And basically I just do this 5 times within each article. Perfect. So I've just done that one for the one article, but I would do this for every new piece of content that I add. What I'm looking for here then is just to make sure that once I'm finished, roughly all of my articles have roughly the same amount of internal links pointing back to them. When this number starts getting above sort of 4 or 5, each article has around 4 or 5 internal links back to them using this primary keyword. You start then running into the risk of possibly over-optimizing your internal anchor text. So what I like to then do is just make up, or just to add a secondary keyword, and then I'll start internal linking with a secondary keyword just to mix things up a little bit. But most sites are small enough, especially when starting out, that you shouldn't run into this problem or this issue for a little while at least. So now that that's done, the final step that I always take when I add a new piece of content is adding them, or going into Search Console and having them manually recrawled. So I'll come to Search Console. I will pop in the URL in there. I'll pop in the URL in there because I've added 2 pieces of content. And you can see here that the URL is not on Google. Basically, it hasn't been indexed yet. So I'll request indexing. And while I'm waiting, I'll also add those 2 keywords to my keyword tracker so I know exactly where they start to rank. I use SERP Robot for my keyword rank tracking. It's decent. They've got a free account. I'm not 100% sure on how many keywords you can track for free, but it's super cheap. I think it's like $5 or $6 per month to track 300 keywords. So it's really, really cheap. It gives you this kind of breakdown. So the latest, your latest position, your best, your first, when you first added, volumes, when it was last updated. You've got an overall kind of graph. And if you wanted to see what's happened, let's say with this keyword, you can see that it was 7, then it rose to 6, and then it dropped down, and you can see exactly what days and what times that happened. And it also lists down your competitors. It's a nice little tool, especially for the price. So indexing has been done for the one, indexing has been done for the other. And I'm just going to add these 2 keywords. And I'm going to give it a second, just before I stop the video, to see if these actually start ranking straight away. I know that with some sites, depending on the age of the site and how much content's previously been added and its authority within Google, that this can start ranking pretty quickly, literally within a few minutes of indexing. So it'll be interesting to see if that's the case for these products here. So this should only take a minute or 2 for this to pick them up. So in terms of my plans going forward now, I've just added 2 pieces of content. I've got another 3 pieces which have been delivered and are ready to go. So I'll be doing that over the next few days. I'll then also be ordering rather than some new content, some buyer's guides for the existing content, because basically most of the existing content is just single product reviews and doesn't quite have any buyer's guides. And they're already ranking quite well, so it just makes sense to kind of capitalize on that and add content to those existing articles as well, just to give them a little boost. But I think I kind of showed it off in here a little bit. The keywords, and then we've got a couple more in here. A couple more for wax, a couple more for mousse, hairspray, volumizer. So as things go, there should be no shortage of keywords, but even once we've kind of run out of these keywords, then we can always move over to electrical products such as hair dryers or beard trimmers or anything like that, basically. So yeah, so straight away, those 2 articles, one's gone in at number 28 and one's gone in at number 13, which is pretty decent considering the volumes on them as well. The volumes are, this keyword right here has around 1,000 searches per month, and this keyword right here has around 140 searches per month. One other thing that I like to do once I've added all this, and it's just to further track how my content's working, and I'll probably keep this for another video, just because this one's probably getting on to around 30 minutes or so now, is I like to, when I add new content, is just create new segments within Google Analytics, just so I can see that, keep a track of when I added content. I usually track them in bundles of 10. So if I add 10 articles, then I can see how that traffic's grown over the last 30 days or 60 days, etc. But like I said, I'll keep that for another video. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with your own Thrive videos, with your own Thrive designs or with your other Elementor designs, etc. And please let me know if you have any questions or anything in the comments. Thanks, bye.